Was there any warning? Because recently, sometime in June this year, your agency, that's NEMA, released a press release saying that they have adopted space technology to help mitigate disasters, so to speak. They called it they were tapping into the UN Spider. They said, was there any warning whatsoever on this particular incident in Ibadan?
You are quite correct. You are correct. Not only in Ibadan. The early warning signal came as early as February this year to all nooks and crannies of Nigeria, not only the Southwest, to all stakeholders, because this was informed by the release of the 2011 rainfall prediction by NIMET, which is one of our major stakeholders. When these figures were released, we saw the aspect of emergency management of it, and NEMA called all stakeholders to Abuja to come and listen to the warning by NIMET for 2 days. A day after, NEMA gathered all other stakeholders in emergency management to NEMA headquarters conference room to actually cross-fertilize ideas on how to tackle the emergencies when they come. One major thing that we came up with was to have written to all stakeholders, particularly the state emergency management agencies, to the effect that rains this year were going to be far above what is expected, far above what's happened last year.
We've had the NIMET agency here. I mean, we've had cause to question them, because it's not just enough to just say rains are going to be heavy this year. We need to know how heavy they are going to be. We need to know when they will come. For instance, in the United States, everybody knew Hurricane Irene was coming, and they had sent warning signals out. The question will be, does this UN Spider thing they have tapped into, does it help them to be more specific? Can you tell that the rains that are going to fall, or they're going to come tomorrow, and how heavy they're going to be? Is it going to be a major disaster? Do people have to be ready? You know, those are kind of specifics people want to know.
Yeah, why not trying to speak for NIMET, because I don't work in NIMET.
Yes.
But from the experience we had with them, you cannot give specific period, say hour, that the rains will fall. But in a matter of range, you can say this week you are going to expect so and so much of rainfall.
So did you have any kind of warning for this particular week?
Still a daily forecast. When you say forecast, it can never be precise.
Too precise,
Let
yes.
me come in here. Sorry, Mark, Mr. Akande, let me come in here. You know, when you people met in that room to cross-fertilize ideas, so we all knew that we had a disaster coming.
Sure.
So, what were the
analysis? We were prepared.
What were the analysis, and of course, what were the stopgap measure, and again, what decision did you reach as to how to curtail all of that? Because what we saw in Ibadan, you can see the crude means with which rescue came to some of the people, and it wasn't NEMA, for instance, that was there working before we saw you people finally. So how come it happened, and we saw that magnitude of destruction?
What you saw, it's a good effort, but behind the scene you could not have possibly seen everything. Your cameraman was out to actually see the crude aspect of it, because NEMA actually swung into action almost immediately.
What exactly did you do?
Yes, immediately we got wind of this, we contacted the stakeholders. Like I said, we gathered. Then we had to bring our search and rescue equipment to Ibadan, all the way from Lagos here, overnight. You get my point? So we reached Ibadan. On the way,
overnight, that will be the following day's night. I mean, the disaster happened
between
Friday night
and
to Saturday.
Between Friday and Saturday.
So it means you had, a premonition that, or you had some sort of warning.
No, it had already started.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And the Southwest NEMA office is based there in Lagos. So we have a crop of young and vibrant search and rescue officers. They were contacted personally by me, and they started moving overnight.
So you already knew, you had an inkling that this was going to be a major disaster. That's what I'm driving at. Did you?
I experienced it personally. My house was flooded, but I never waited to take care of my own end of it. I had to go out there to assist, taking care of the remaining part of the population.
So when did they get to Ibadan?
They got to Ibadan 10 a.m. You know, that rain caused...
That's on Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. It actually happened, I mean, across the whole region. They encountered serious accident on the way, but they cannot leave those and say, oh, we are going to Ibadan. We cannot take care of you, because we are all Nigerians. And so they rescued, I mean, at about 2 points before getting to Ibadan. And then immediately they got to Ibadan. I told them where to stay, to meet with the contingent, the team of the deputy governor. So we joined together and started the rescue operation.
So that the government will know if NEMA is handicapped, for instance. Now, what kind of equipment do you normally would use or would you require for a flood disaster like this?
Of course, it's both. We have it in stock and we deployed it. I am surprised that...
They brought the boats all the way from Lagos?
All the way. It's flammable boat. Flammable boat.
Okay.
It's sort of life buoy. So they were deployed adequately. I mean, the state government will bear me witness to that. Apart from that, I mean, I impressed it on the government that because Ibadan is so vast and you cannot possibly reach every nook and cranny of the city, I impressed it on the state government, and they bought the idea that we should they should hire a chopper with which we can actually fly across the whole city and be able to see. Then we were being complimented by the State Ministry of Health with all the ambulances on ground, and we were making communication.
NEPA has no, NEMA, beg your pardon, has no helicopter for the southwest region?
NEMA has an helicopter, but not specifically for the southwest region.
And not for search and rescue
operations? It's for search and rescue operations. We could not have waited for NEMA helicopter to come to Abuja. I mean, to come all the way from Abuja. So I had to tell the state government, and they bought the idea, and then we flew across the place while communicating with the people on ground.
Would you say in any way that, to some extent, NEMA was overwhelmed with this Ibadan floods?
NEMA was not overwhelmed, but because of the vastness of Ibadan, I mean, everybody was almost overwhelmed. Well, we rose to the occasion and we were on top of the situation. Mind you, the NEMA Director General himself had to break his Umrah journey. The news came on a Saturday. By Sunday, he was in Nigeria, and by Monday, he was in Ibadan to personally see to the evacuation and the distribution of relief material.